All right, good morning, everybody. Can you guys hear us? All right, Marlena, you're muted.
Good morning.
There we go.
All right, we are live, so let's kick off the show here. This is the Subdivision Committee meeting for February 10th, 2022. Let's start with roll call. I'm Russ Ford, Planning and Building Services.
Alex Sequeira, Department of Transportation.
Elena Dooley, Environmental Health Land Use.
Good morning. All right, so first up is agenda item 2A, which is Subdivision Committee Administration, discussion and possible action, including adoption of resolution to the Mendocino County Subdivision Committee, finding that state or local officials continue to recommend measures to promote social distancing in connection with public meetings. This is our monthly resolution, so can I get a motion to support that?
I motion that we approve the resolution. Item 2A on the agenda.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next up, item 3A, boundary line adjustment 2021-0065 for Naomi Ages and David Gregory. This is a boundary line adjustment to transfer 1.3 acres from Lot 2 to Lot 1. 3 miles east of Albion on the east side of Albion Ridge Road at 30,200 Albion Ridge Road. Is there anybody here for this application?
There is no one here for that.
Look like it. Okay, environmental health, any comments?
Yes, I do have comments.
Yeah,
Can I share my screen with you guys?
sure.
All right. I cannot tell from the maps that applicants have submitted where the line is in regards to this septic area here.
Okay, and that's what's existing, primary and 2 replacements?
It's somewhere in here, but I cannot tell from the map they submitted because it has no reference points and no scale and no structures. So I need to know that.
Okay.
Is the line here? Is it here? I don't know.
Okay, Alex, do you have any comments?
No comments.
Okay. So Marlena, how about continuing this item to next month and requesting an updated tentative map? Does that work?
Yes, that'd be great.
Okay. All right, how about a motion to continue to the March 10th Subdivision Committee meeting?
I motion that we continue boundary line adjustment 2021-0065 to the March 10th meeting of Subdivision Committee.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so I will reach out to the planner and ask them to contact the applicants. Okay, next up, agenda item 4A, which is minor subdivision case CDMS 2014-0001 for Michael Butler and Agnes Lee. This is an extension of time for a coastal development minor subdivision. So this will be the second and final extension date, 18-month extension, and this will push the final expiration date out to July 19th of 2023. Environmental health, any comments or concerns?
No.
Transportation?
I don't have any concerns with the time extension. I was just looking through the subdivision in general, looking at, refreshing myself on the subdivision. And I did notice in there, unless I don't have the latest final conditions of approval, but I did notice that there was that request to go for the required easement to be 25 feet instead of 40 feet. But then I was looking through our conditions and we still have in there 40 feet. And it looks like the 25 would have been granted. I was just, it kind of seemed interesting to me.
Okay. So you think that there was an exception granted for that 25 foot?
Yeah, it looks like it from all the emails that I have in this file that it looks like it would have been, and we would have, accepted the exception of 25 feet, but then in the final conditions of approval under condition condition 26, it says there shall be provided a 40-foot wide access easement, when I guess that should say 25 from all the notes that I've been looking at in the file, unless something, I don't know if there's something that they didn't,
Okay. I will follow up with that one.
unless that 25 was somehow denied at planning commission, or I don't have any records of it being denied.
Okay, I'll look back at our file and see what it says. But as far as the extension of time?
No comment on that.
Okay. All right, and planning is recommending granting the extension.
Okay, I move that we approve the extension of time for our CDMS 2014-001 with no additional conditions.
Just granting the extension of time. Yeah.
I second that.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last but not least, item 4B, minor subdivision 2020-0006 for Jack Rafter LLC. This is a minor subdivision of one 6-acre parcel into two separate legal parcels of 2.1 acres and 3.9 acres, 4.5 miles north of Ukiah on the east side of North State Street at 4681 North State Street. Do we have anybody here for this one?
We have no one here for that.
Interesting. That's a first. Okay, so you guys got the draft conditions I sent? Do you have your own draft conditions?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess we'll just go through this for our own benefit. So they are requesting a waiver of survey, so it's just going to be unilateral agreement. There is no exception requested. And do you guys want to go through the planning conditions or skip those?
Well, I have an issue I needed to bring up.
Okay.
This was referred to environmental health in January. We stated that we needed to know the location of the leach field because the proposed boundary between the new parcel and the existing is 23 feet. And we think that it's cutting the leach field off, which we don't want to do when we create new parcels.
Okay.
But I don't see that it was ever addressed or responded to. I don't see that EH got that information. I have the most updated map that shows where septic tanks are, but we were talking about the leach fields.
Okay, so you still need more information on the map.
And I don't know where that got lost in translation, but I know that it was requested in January in our staff comments.
So you need information about the location of the existing leach field in relation to the proposed new line.
Yeah, we've got 23 feet and 30 feet. And I don't think, with the information I have, that particularly for residence units 2, 3, that the leach field is meeting the 5-foot setback to the new proposed lot line.
Okay.
I'd be happy to be wrong, but they need to respond with some information.
Okay. So I don't think we need to go through the rest of it then right now.
Vance is here now. I got his attention.
Okay. So Vance, did you hear any of that? You're
Am I
muted.
missing something?
I think he's muted.
Yeah.
You're muted, sir.
You're muted, Vance.
It says Angie Lane is muted on my screen.
Yeah, I see that too.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, sorry. I just got the email like 2 minutes ago after trying to log in.
Oh.
Yeah. That exhibit had been emailed last year. And
Okay,
it shows
let me show you what I've got. The most recent one that I asked for and that they resent me today.
Okay, sorry. I just got the email like 2 minutes ago after trying to log in. Yeah. That exhibit had been emailed last year.
So somebody's got the broadcast on.
Who's watching the YouTube?
Okay, are we caught up to ourselves?
Yeah, go ahead, Marlene, if you have that.
I do. If I'm missing something, show me, Vance, please. This is what I've got. Do we know where this guy is?
Go ahead.
If I'm missing something, show me, Vance, please.
The request I was at, I believe aren't these both connected there, Dave? I
Do
can't.
we know where this guy is?
Unmute. My understand, guys. This is Dave. How you doing? Good morning. We had some trouble getting logged on. Can you hear me? Okay.
Aren't these both connected there, Dave?
No, my understand. There's a tank here where it says S. Right there.
I can't.
Do we know where this guy is?
Right. That's where we know the tank is. This is the only one that we have a permit on right here. The other one to the north.
We had some trouble.
That is the one that we have information on. The other one we don't have any information on. Okay. And if that's not in your files, we don't know. And no one has clarified and said that they wanted the information for the south one. They just said they wanted the information. We assumed that everything that you needed was the north one.
Well, I can't approve having the leach field on the new proposed parcel. So I want to work that out with you.
Okay. So we don't have any way of determining where that is. If the county doesn't have records through the health department, then the only way that we can determine where the southerly one is, it would be to dig everything up. So what would you like us to do beyond that?
Well, a lot of times, if that's the only way to find out, people have the leach line scoped so that they don't have to dig anything out.
There isn't even a distribution box from what I can tell. Does the county health department not have records for that septic tank?
The comments of the last reviewer implied that we did not, but I can double check and see.
That would be awesome if you could. Like I said, the northerly one we're very clear on because we pulled a permit for that. Or there was a permit pulled for some repair on that one right there. Yeah, and that's very clear.
And how about this guy?
No. We have no records of that at all. I mean, all this is pre-existing stuff. The only reason I know is, I'm the property owner and we did a lot of renovations on this particular property. So let's call that the middle unit, which is number 3. We understand that because we had a permit in place and we did repairs on that. Unit number 4, I can't comment on that, but it's very unlikely that any of that work would be to the north because the lids are where they're at. And for whatever reason, when I acquired the property, those particular lids were exposed and available so that we could see them. That's why we were able to identify them. So we commissioned this survey when I acquired the property to document everything as it was, within a couple of weeks of acquisition. So that's what I can tell you. The southerly one of unit number 1, which now I understand that you're asking for. It wasn't clear which unit it was. It just said, where's the units? But we know where the lid is because there's a metal plate there. And one of the concerns that I had was the metal plate was not secured to the tank. So we secured the lid so that no one could, actually go in. I suspect that probably runs to the northeast. Yep, right in that zone there. I can't imagine that it's very long. There's no distribution box. Another way we could do this too is we could write an easement on the adjacent parcel, easy enough, without digging it up. I mean, otherwise I got to dig it up. I'm just here to tell you. I don't even know where the distribution box is. So normally you would access any leach lines from a distribution box.
They can do it from the tank too. A lot of times that's the only thing that's exposed.
Yeah, well, there's only one lid on that tank, so I don't even know if they can get at the discharge point. But look, I'd be happy to make that a condition of approval and show that to you where that is. That would be fine with me.
Yeah, we have plenty of room to move that line. And
yeah,
looking at my email, it was requested for units 2 and 3. That was the request last year.
Okay.
That was what I got, and that's what we did.
Right. So easy enough, not to belabor the point. I just would really prefer not to dig everything up. And we would probably get Gene from Silva to go over there and take a look. If Gene can't access the discharge point of that thing, then we're digging. That's all I can tell you.
And that's a hillside to the west, so I don't think there's a septic leach line in that area. It wouldn't be
Over
going
here?
west way.
No, to the left.
This
to the
way?
north.
Yeah.
It slopes down away from those houses. to the
Southerly,
north.
sorry.
Yeah. It very well could be, Marlene, it very well could be, and it's probably likely in the level area between the septic and the road there would be my guess.
Yeah,
That's
it's
what I would
possible.
Yeah. I can't tell you because I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it going southerly. They're going off a hill there.
Northerly. It would be off the hill.
I've seen a lot of.
Yeah. Well, this I can tell you. I've been mowing that field for 3 years, and there's no obvious vegetation or green vegetation in the middle of summer in that area over there. Right about where your cursor is, a little bit closer to the house, right about in there, there's a fence line, and there's some of those big like pampas grass growing there. So, it could hook around and go behind the house, and it would probably run east-west because it would be logical that they wouldn't run it downhill, but you never know. So,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm trying to think how I can condition this so we can move forward.
Yeah, because we've been 2 years on this thing already, believe it or not.
Well, you just say prepare if we can locate it, just prepare an exhibit showing the setback.
Well, I'm
similar
thinking
to units 2 and 3.
add a special condition that the existing leach field from unit 1
Remains on the remainder.
and meets a 5-foot boundary line setback.
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, property line setback.
That's
we can
fine.
do that. We can
That's
adjust
perfect.
the property line like Nance said. We've got plenty of room.
We got plenty of room.
Okay, I will stop sharing screen. Thank you. I'm glad you guys came.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, I will add, guys, that I wanted to come earlier, but there was a lot of someone sent up a new link, but I just able to get on, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, the other link wasn't working.
Okay,
Okie dokie.
so now that you're here, I guess we'll start at the beginning and I'll hand it back to Russ.
Sorry about that.
No, it's not. Technology,
Yeah,
so wonderful.
and I guess Mark's not available, huh?
He is the project planner assigned. I don't know.
I think he's out of the office today, yeah. Okay, yeah, so let's go back to the beginning. So you guys are requesting a waiver of survey, so this is gonna be a unilateral agreement, right, Vance?
Yes.
No exception requested.
Oh, do you guys have the list of conditions that we're all looking at?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, so let's just go down the list. So planning is recommending condition number 1, which is aesthetics for downcast external lighting. We are recommending condition number 6, which is a note shall appear on the unilateral agreement that building sites, access roads subject to grading requirements. Condition 8, which is a note shall appear on the unilateral agreement. Prior to the development phase, you have to reach out to air quality for an asbestos dust mitigation plan because of the naturally occurring asbestos in the soil.
Excuse me, but what's natural occurring asbestos? How was that determined?
So we have a map that was prepared from a study some years ago, and they determined it's based on soil types throughout the county. Some of it just has the naturally occurring asbestos that when you do construction can become aerosolized. And so it's just whenever you do construction in one of those areas that's been mapped as an NOA area, you have to have a dust mitigation plan to protect the construction workers and anybody that's on site.
Okay, is that has that map been shared with anybody, or is that part of the conditions of approval?
It was part of the original project referral. It's the soils map.
Okay, I guess Vance and I guess Jim or Vance would have that.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, so it's the map. It says Eastern Soil Classifications on it. It's the one that went out for the original referral. It's probably posted on the website, but we can get you a copy of it directly.
That would be super.
But that's also the development phase too. When you go to build on parcel 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so these are conditions that are going to be applied at the time of subdivision, and right now this is just a note. This is a note stating that anybody that does development on that parcel in the future will need to prepare this dust mitigation plan.
Okay. And could I go back to the downcast lighting one? Is that is that only apply to the newly created parcel?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Just checking.
just to be clear on that, because we have a parcel 1 and we have a remainder parcel, the conditions for this are going to apply to parcel 1.
Yes.
So we are recommending a conditional certificate of compliance for the remainder parcel, and that will put those conditions in application at a later time.
Okay, perfect. Just double checking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I was kind of whipping through these a little bit.
That's okay.
Okay, so then we've got condition 11, which is just a standard condition. That's the fee that has to be submitted to Fish and Wildlife. I think the current fee is $2,598, so that's with the filing fee.
I got confused, Russ. Do we not have conditions 6 and 8?
Yeah, 8 is the one that we were talking about with the naturally occurring asbestos.
Oh,
And,
okay.
yeah, and 6 is future development of building sites
That's
may be subject to grading requirements and drainage control measures.
And that would just be county standard building code grading ordinance requirements, correct?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, not a big deal. Okay.
Okay, so then we have the cultural resources, condition 12, which is a note shall appear on the unilateral agreement in the event that archaeological resources are encountered during development of the property. Work in the immediate vicinity of the find shall be halted until all requirements of chapter 2212 relating to archaeological discoveries have been satisfied. So that's what we call the discovery clause. If you're digging out there and you find some, significant cultural artifacts, you have to stop the work and call in a professional to evaluate the site.
I thought that was pretty well settled in the.
Yeah, you guys had the issue with the ARC. It's a standard condition.
Okay, not a problem.
So then we have condition 18, which is just acknowledgement of best management practices. So that's something that you will submit back to us, that you acknowledge that everything on this list, you will adhere to those best management practices during construction.
Well, that would be covered in a grading plan anyway, BMP, wouldn't it? There's standard stuff.
Most likely, these are all things that are going to be covered.
Okay. All right, not a problem.
Okay, and then So then I've got condition 23, which is a standard condition. It just says that the subdivider shall comply with those recommendations of the Ukiah Valley Fire District. I forgot the Y in Valley. I actually didn't see a letter from the fire district in the file. Vance, do you guys know if you ever heard back from them about anything?
This is the first time I've heard anything on any notifications.
They're usually pretty good about getting back to us on referrals, so I'm a little bit surprised that we didn't see anything. So we'll just put that in there in reservation. If they decide that, you know, they want a certain turnaround or something, then that condition would apply. And you guys are in an LRA, so there's no CAL FIRE review on this. Okay, so now we've got the hydrology section, so I'm going to turn it over to Marlena.
Okay, so I'm gonna check a box number 24, standard condition. If you're gonna dig test pits, you need to let us know and give us an opportunity to come out. And number 25 is gonna be for the remainder. Of course, that's upon development in the future.
Wait,
So that's one that we can put on the conditional certificate of compliance.
yes.
And 26 is parcel 1 for replacement area. Unless you guys have that, I don't have that on record. If it's found that there's replacement area identified for everything on parcel 1, then that condition will be met.
That'll be part of 24 too. I don't think there's an existing leach.
Yeah, there is nothing out there now. It's
Yeah,
completely,
so we have to
undeveloped. So.
Test it anyways.
Okay, we're good on those two? So 20, I'm skipping 27. I don't have a reason to request wet weather testing at this time. 28, we're gonna check that box. It's a scaled map, which is always a part of your septic plan that's submitted. So presumably once the septic report comes in, number 28 will be addressed within that report as well. And then we're down to the water. It's my understanding that the water source for this subdivision is an on-site water well.
And that is not correct.
Okay. Oh, you have a Willow water letter.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for reminding me.
No problem.
Got the option for will serve for Millview County Water District.
Well, yeah, they're all the same. I think they're all one big
They're
happy
merging.
family over there. Yeah.
They are merging. So we are going to go to number 31. That is the last EH condition. The water district sends in a letter stating, you want me to read the whole condition?
Just a summary is fine.
You'll need to get a letter or a certificate. Some water districts call it some certificates, stating that the water service extensions and meters have been installed to the water district's satisfaction.
So we have to install the water meter as approval.
That doesn't make sense to me. I'll be honest with you. If they've given a will serve letter, that should be suitable and satisfy the requirement. I don't think that you can insist that we install all the infrastructure to that property as part of this subdivision approval.
Well, are we talking about parcel 1 or the remainder?
Only parcel 1. The remainder,
Okay.
yeah.
I want to make sure we're all talking about the same one because
Right.
I'm talking about parcel 1.
Mhm.
So yes, the will serve letter says that it's an option, it's available. But the condition, and this isn't a new condition, this is the condition for every subdivision that's supported by a sewer district or a water district, that you have the infrastructure installed or bonded to be installed.
Okay, so that's fine. Is this part of an ordinance that you can share with us as far as the county ordinance was a requirement?
Well,
I'm just asking.
Yeah, no, it's been a condition at least for the last 20 years that I know of.
Okay.
And we certainly can look into the land division guidelines and land division requirements on county code.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of looking at it. And alternatively, you can also share with us what your minimum bonding requirements would be for that as well.
Well, that is referred to the county Department of Transportation. In the condition, it states to the county engineer. So I would refer you to DOT to find that exact information out.
So basically the way I'm understanding this, and apologies, I'm not, I'm not up on all your ordinances, but the intent here is to make sure that infrastructure can be provided to that property, and hence the condition. Alternatively, a bond can be provided that states that that infrastructure will be installed at some point in time. Is that accurate?
Yes, I was just rereading to make sure there's not a time limit.
Right. And or alternatively, if it's not part of an ordinance or a requirement, then I would think that that condition could be relieved.
I don't know of any case in which that, I find that highly unlikely.
Well, yeah, but it's worth looking at. I mean, there's no problem at least requesting us to look at it. Agreed?
That's true.
Okay.
Guys, within the text of that condition, it does reference County Code Section 17.55 and 17.56. So we can start there. That's probably what this is derived from.
Yeah. I mean, it just seems odd. I mean, that because subdivisions are done all day long and, the tentative maps are approved without the work being done. So that's
not if it's a sewer district or a water district. And if it was a well, your water test would have to come in before approval. It's a condition of approval. The intent is that this parcel is not approved and created without having either proved it can stand alone on a water source located on it or has water provided to it.
Okay.
Before sale to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the idea is that, the burden is put on the developer to get all the infrastructure and all the groundwork laid so that when the parcel is created, the next owner just has to apply for a building permit and they're good to go. They don't have to put in pipes.
I get it, guys. I was just an expense that I wasn't anticipating. So that's
sure, yeah.
I mean, when you guys start writing the checks, you'd start asking the questions, right? Just saying. Yeah. I mean, I'm not, I'm not being silly, but that's the reality of it. Although they'll probably want 15,000 or 20 grand to put all that in,
Yeah, and also keep in mind, the Subdivision Committee for subdivisions, this is a recommending body. So these are tentative conditions.
Understood.
This still has to go to Planning Commission, and the Planning Commission is where you're going to get your final approved conditions. So, you're always welcome to make a case to them if you object to any of the conditions or want any modifications.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys are set in your ways on this particular item then, correct?
It's pretty standard, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's fine. Yeah. Just asking.
Ask away. This is your project.
Right. Well, no problem at all.
Okay, so then we're gonna back to planning. We're gonna skip down to condition number 36, which is just verification that all existing structures shall meet current setback requirements to the newly proposed property lines. It says the site map shall be submitted. I think the tentative map, as long as they're called out on there, will be sufficient for that.
Have you guys reviewed the original proposal, and do you have any issue with the existing setbacks as shown?
No, I just wasn't sure because the map that I was looking at last night was a pretty small version and I couldn't read it, so I wasn't sure if the setbacks.
Okay, Vance, could you put that up and we could visit that real quick with these guys?
How do I do that?
Well, so how about the only ones that's relevant? Marlene, you had the one with the septic tank up a minute ago. That has the dimensions.
That one. Sorry, I can pull it up and I can share it.
That'd be great.
I just layered it, but I don't think it's the full picture. I'll show you guys. Here we go.
Those are the only two buildings on the north side.
Those are the only close ones. That's why I mentioned it. So
here we go.
That'd be great. Thank you.
25.
Because you guys have complete control over this meeting. I don't know nothing. So those are the only two proximates. It's 23 feet and 30 feet respectively.
Okay.
Want me to zoom in?
You're suburban residential, so that's a side yard setback of what, 6 feet?
Yeah. So I think we're good, but just want to try to get a handle on any kind of issue now.
Yeah, no, that looks fine to me.
Okay, great.
Make sure that's called out on that tentative map that gets recorded, and we're good to go.
Yep, super.
This map was emailed to me from Mark, so you should have it in planning somewhere. I'm going to stop sharing now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so then I don't have anything else until transportation. So Alex, I'll let you run this one.
All right. So for transportation, we have 40A. There should be provided an access easement of 40 feet from the pretty much North State Street to the parcel 1. I have 40B. There shall be dedicated by parcel map or granted by grant deed, 70 feet. So for pretty much for a total of 70 feet right of way on North State Street.
Now, why do you guys want a 70-foot right of way?
That's
What's the finding on that?
that's our that's the ultimate width of right of way. If you look at the existing right of way right there,
Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
yeah. So that's just something typical that 70 feet is our ultimate build out.
Where's that coming from? Because I know everything in the county on North State Street is 60, except for this one area, and I don't know why. That subdivision deeded an 11-foot strip. To the north, to the south, all the way up to the end is 60.
Yeah. The other thing, Alex, that's a little unusual about this too is that, you know, the position of the roadway right there, proximate to the Highway 101 right of way, would preclude pushing this thing out. And Vance, you've got the right of ways there, but we have some infrastructure that's already in place, some existing stuff. I don't know. There's like some kind of a concrete structure that would push that right away pretty close to that as well. If everything pushed to the east, there's some power poles and some other miscellaneous stuff in there. So I think that request might actually might push into some other existing right of ways that are already there.
Yeah, you have your shed on the south side.
Yeah, there's a I know there's a PG&E gas line easement in there. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and actually PG&E just requested a change in the way the easement was, and I just negotiated that. I don't know if that's filtered down to your level yet, but their surveyors, I don't know exactly what they did. I don't have those exhibits, but that's part of the PG&E stuff, and that happened here in the last year or so. But either way, I guess the high level part of this discussion is that moving the existing right of way, it can't really move to the west off of the center line because the Highway 101 right of way is there.
Right.
If it goes from 60 to 70, that means you would think that it would have to push to the east, and there's all kinds of other infrastructure there. There's a water district fire hydrant there. There's a pole there. There's the PG&E has a big installation right there on the northwest corner.
A lot of the utilities are within our county right of way.
No.
Almost all the utilities are within the county right of way.
Now, is the general plan calling for North State Street to have a full width of 70 feet? That's would be my question.
Yeah, that.
So that's
I guess what we're thinking.
Yeah, I guess that would be something I'd have to check up on, but.
I guess what we're thinking is there could be other things that are affected by this that are unanticipated or collateral consequence to doing this that could be problematic downstream. I'm not saying that it wouldn't be a problem, but there's a lot of other stuff involved here besides just scooching it over 5 feet more.
Now, one quick question. We're just dealing with parcel 1 still. So it'll be a 10-foot dedication along parcel 1.
Parcel 1, correct.
Yeah, it could not go over the remainder. That'd have to be done by a separate document altogether. I mean, it has to be done by a separate document regardless. But we're just talking about a 10-foot strip along parcel 1.
Yeah, Vance, you know where that you saw there's that big concrete thing there that's been there forever. I don't know what it is.
That's on the remainder parcel, Dave.
Okay.
We're only dealing with parcel 1. The remainder is just that, a remainder.
Okay.
And that would have to be dealt with when somebody pulls a certificate on that.
Yeah. So anyway, I guess the point is that there's extenuating circumstance to this request that may be unintended.
But once again, we're only talking about parcel 1, right, Alex? Because that's the only one we can deal with here.
I believe
It'd have to be, because we go from a 60 to a 70 for 185 feet back to a 60 again.
Right. You know,
And it would be interesting to see those conditions from that subdivision on the west side. That was done in, let me see. And you'll have to pull a file from the conditions then and see what the reasoning was for that 11-foot strip.
For that,
which was kind of odd.
71. Yeah, I suppose I would need to do a little more research on that to see what the exact reasoning behind that condition was.
Okay.
So for the sake of the discussion now, you want to leave it at 70 with kind of a question mark, and we can circle back around to it before Mark prepares his staff report to PC.
Yeah, I can follow up with that. Leave it at 70 feet, and then I'll talk it over within the department and look at some of the reasoning behind it, and then if necessary, then we can exclude that condition if we find.
Yeah, that would be great.
It would be, but on the condition, even if it did go, it'd be a 10-foot dedication along the west line of parcel 1. It couldn't be over the entire strip. That would once again have to be dealt with the certificate on the remainder.
Yeah. And my thought is that condition would also work its way into the certificate for implementation.
Right. Yes.
Then we just need to check. The only other thing I say is we just need to check make sure there's no existing infrastructure that would be affected by that, because that could be problematic.
Oh, that concrete. Yes, yes, you're right.
That's my point.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
It's right about smack in the middle of the property, and I've never pulled a tape on exactly where that is, but I'm sure it's identified in the topo, and that probably got picked up. It's pretty close to it. Had put the edge of the right of way pretty darn close to it. So anyway, worth thinking about.
Yeah, I think it would still be off of the concrete out there. But I'll do some more researching about that.
Oh, this is something else that's on parcel 1.
Yeah. But either way, Alex, that would be very helpful.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Super.
So I'll get back to that one. So then 40E. That's just install or replace drainage culverts where necessary along the access road to parcel 1.
Did you say 40E?
40E, correct.
No.
Oh, sorry, 40.
Yeah.
Hold on. 40E is all natural drainage and water courses shall be considered as easements.
Yep.
And then 41A. So the subdivision road within the access easement from North State Street to parcel 1 shall be 22-foot wide, 8-inch minimum thickness base rock road.
And we have an asphalt already.
Okay.
So we're still going to apply that even though we're already at asphalt?
So is it 22-foot wide?
Pretty close.
Yeah. Oops. Hang on. I think it's pretty close.
And is it going all the way to where the parcel 1?
Yes.
property line.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're good.
So, okay. So if it's already existing, if it's already, oh shit, I didn't know it was already paved out to the access easement. If it's already paved and it's already 22 foot wide, then it'll just be signed off pretty much.
Good.
If it's not 22 foot wide, then we just do some shoulder back and with some base rock.
Perfect.
Yep.
Yep. That's great.
And then 41E, that's the install or replace drainage culverts where necessary. I'm assuming you guys would have probably already covered that if you put in an asphalt driveway already.
Yeah, there's no.
They're pre-existing, so
Okay.
they're good. They're in good shape.
Do we have culverts?
I'm pretty sure. I don't even know.
I don't think we
Whatever.
do.
Well, maybe they're not in there. Yeah,
No,
I don't think
don't
there's.
have it.
I don't even think there's a ditch. Maybe there isn't a ditch there. I think down on the bottom there was a culvert, but
Yeah, if there's no need for culverts, then it'd just
yeah.
be, it's where it's necessary. So if it's not necessary, then that would be
Okay, so that's the language. We're good, and we're good, Vance. Okay, where necessary.
where necessary. Exactly.
Perfect. Okay, no problem at all.
41H, standard private road approach from North State Street onto the property.
Were we not going to use the existing approach that's already there, Vance?
That's the plan, and I think it meets that standard already.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the shape of the driveway approach is in. Looks like it might need to be redone. But
Can we not use the existing ingress and egress that's already there?
you can use it, but if it's in a shape where it's not meeting our standard, then you would.
I think it meets the standard already, just looking at it. Oh yeah.
I'm looking at Google, I'm seeing, bunch of gravel and cracking and
You're looking at the north entrance?
are you guys using the
northerly entrance is the planned entrance or access point, and that's very close to the
northern entrance, right?
yeah, very close to there's a
I'm
fire
looking at-
hydrant there and everything. If you're looking at Google,
Yeah, I'm looking at Google Street View. It shows a bunch of cracking and
well, it's not brand new,
gravel. Yeah,
but I mean, are you requiring a new one?
correct. For the first 20 feet back from so it'd be, our standard is 20 feet from the edge of pavement or the shoulder there, wherever you tie into the county road.
Okay.
So, moving on. 41J, I have a modified condition of the turnaround. And I have here, if the access easement length exceeds 300 feet from North State Street to parcel 1, a 40-foot radius turnaround shall be constructed within a 50-foot radius easement. Alternatively, you can do a hammerhead T. So a turnaround if the driveway is longer than 300 feet to parcel 1.
Starting from where?
From
State
North State
Street? Okay, we'll make it less than 300 feet.
And you got a loop driveway too.
Yeah, well, that's on the other one. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about is the remainder.
Okay.
And then coming in, when the development comes in, then they'll have to put a hammerhead or something to that nature.
Okay. And then 41L. If approval of the tentative map is conditioned upon certain improvements, that basically you'll notify us when the improvements have been completed. Current inspections fees apply.
So there's more fees. There's your fees.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So there's.
I'll just share this with you guys. I mean, I'm into this little simple property line adjustment over $25,000 now, just so you know.
I understand that's.
Yeah. I mean, it's just kind of crazy, but, and 41 conditions of approval on this thing. So, I'll just share with you our point of view that people want to know why things cost so much and the housing is not affordable anymore. Here's the reason why, guys. So
And
it's
then,
unfortunate, isn't it?
And then 41M, any proposed work within the county right of way needs to have an encroachment permit. And that's it. And I'll get back to you about the 70 feet thing.
Okay, so now we have special conditions. So I've got 47, which is that a conditional certificate of compliance shall be recorded for the remainder parcel concurrently with the recording of the unilateral agreement. The conditional certificate of compliance shall require the following conditions must be met prior to future development on the remainder parcel. So to start with, I had conditions 1, 6, 8, 12, 23, and 36 as indicated in this document. So based on our discussion with environmental health and transportation, I'm also adding condition number 25 from environmental health. And then a bunch of the conditions that Alex was just talking about, 40B, 41A, 41E, 41H, and 41M. So this is, the conditional CC is something that the department will prepare. And so when the map gets recorded, it'll get recorded right behind it. And basically it's just memorializing these conditions so that at whatever point in the future the remainder parcel is developed, these must be met prior to that development.
That's what I was going to ask. Perfect.
And so Marlena and Alex, if you guys have any questions or anything else you think we need to add to that, please let me know.
I think I want to add the last condition, the special condition about, I'm assuming it'll be 52, but where would you like to put it?
Yeah, no, 52 is where I've got it tentatively. Yeah, thank you.
And what the language I am thinking about proposing is all leach fields located on parcel 1 shall meet the required setback to the new property line. Okay. All right. That'll be.
That works for me. Yeah, can you send me a copy of
Sure.
verbiage? Thank you.
Well, that's a standard condition for any design on anything, correct? For septic and well.
That is, but
Yeah.
it's not explicitly called out in the subdivision conditions.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Okay, and then, so I think the rest are just standard conditions. We have condition number 48, which is that building or development setbacks indicating front and rear side to all property boundaries shall be designated on, in this case, an exhibit map to be submitted to the department. So you're not filing a map, so we just want an exhibit map for future reference showing those setbacks. Then condition 50, pursuant to government code sections 66492 and 493. Prior to recordation of the unilateral agreement, the subdivider must obtain a certificate from the Mendocino County tax collector stating that all current taxes and any delinquent taxes have been paid, and to pay a security deposit or bond for taxes that are lien but not yet due and payable. That's a standard condition. So then I also have condition 51 because this is within a stormwater mitigation area. So condition 51 says the applicant shall submit to the building division a preliminary stormwater control plan prepared by an engineer or other certified professional indicating an acceptable stormwater runoff catchment and treatment area. And then I also have special condition 52, which is the one that Marlena was just talking about the leach.
51 just has to do when parcel 1 develops, correct?
Yeah, so 51 is because it's within a stormwater.
That M4 zone.
MS4, yeah.
That's that. Okay. Yeah, that's just when they put in the development, correct?
Yeah, but we need the plan ahead of time to show how the stormwater will be managed.
Well, now wait a minute. How can you do that? I'm sorry. I take issue with that, because how can you prepare a stormwater mitigation plan without knowing what the development looks like? Maybe I'm missing something here. Am I understanding that's to be submitted prior to any development activities?
Yeah, so that would be a condition of approval for the subdivision for parcel 1.
Okay.
Acceptable. So the plan has to indicate an acceptable stormwater runoff catchment and treatment area. So we want to.
So you just want to identify the area. You don't really need a plan.
Well, it's kind of. I mean, they're referring it to
Okay.
the same thing. But yeah, so we need an identified area to catch and treat any potential stormwater runoff for the construction. Does that make
For
sense?
construction, not just during the construction, but I mean, a grading plan would identify all that anyway.
It might also be part of the grading plan. Yeah, but because
Okay.
not every parcel is subject to the MS4 requirements, that's not required by the grading
Okay.
plan. So this would just be an extra byline on that plan.
Okay, but that's prior to this thing being approved. This is a condition of approval, so you were going to need a document before you approve it. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so is the document just need to show a location of this proposed spot, and can that be changed? Because I mean, what if they decide to develop the property differently? I guess is my point.
So typically, when we see things like that, that might require a modification to the subdivision. It's not impossible to do. It's just a different process.
Okay. So Vance, you're going to have to prepare a document outlining a location for that stormwater thing. That's my take on it. Okay. Is that what it's going to be, guys?
Yeah.
It just looks like an area that you just designate somewhere on the property, saying this is the area we're going to use as a sediment trap or something.
Also, I can either do that or I can have Court's team do that at Munzel. Okay.
Yeah, perfect. And just like a building envelope, if that's something that can be changed later.
It sounds like you want a building envelope diagram too with the setback requirements. So maybe we can include both of those in the same one.
Not we don't need a building envelope specifically for this one. We just need a map calling out the setbacks.
Okay. So
as long as you're outside the setbacks, that's all.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me.
And then 52, like I said, was the special condition from environmental health that the property line meets setbacks from the leach fields. And Marlene will give me the specific text on that one. So that's all I have. You guys have any
Got
other?
2 things I wanted to go over with y'all before we adjourn.
Okay.
Marlena, you were going to get back to me on the ordinance and the bonding requirements. Is that correct?
I'll
Okay.
pull up those ones that are listed in the condition and send you guys those sections of county code.
Okay. And then will you outline the bonding requirements that potentially could satisfy that, please?
I will have to ask DOT to provide that.
Okay. If that's part of their ordinance or their purview, then that would be great if you could help us out with that. Because I don't know that they'll know what I'm asking. And then Alex, will you be able to get everything done within the prescribed time period and sort that one issue out before we
definitely
repairs
just
everything?
to see why we're requiring an additional 10 feet.
Yeah, that would be great.
An additional 10 feet in front of parcel 1, correct?
Yeah, that's the only 2 items I had, guys.
Okay.
Vance, you've got your stuff to do. So we'll need a couple more documents.
Nothing right now. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thanks, guys.
Okay, so for the committee, can we get a motion to recommend conditions to the planning commission?
I motion that we recommend standard conditions and special conditions for MS 2020-006 to the Planning Commission.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you, guys. Okay, so we have no pre-app conferences today. Are there any matters from staff?
Me.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for the first one, the boundary line adjustment, the map is so vague that I couldn't do my review, which wastes their time. And I don't want that to happen. So I wanted to talk about what the minimum requirements are for the boundary line adjustment maps. And so I went and looked at boundary line adjustment map requirements to answer my own question. And it says that they shall have a north arrow and scale. This one does not. I do need scale so I can compare it to my other scaled maps. And I wanted to discuss, and maybe we won't come to a understanding today, but condition G, it says when deemed applicable by subdivision, the location of important physical features shall be on the map. And I want to discuss when we make that finding.
So I would say that at the very least, existing buildings, springs, wells, private sewage disposal systems, those should probably be on every map, I think.
So then I totally agree. I would need planning to put that as a part of their map requirements when they're accepting these before they come to subdivision.
Correct, yeah, and that's just a little, sounds like a little bit of training process on our end. Alex, is there anything else that you want to put on as a requirement for these tentative maps?
Nothing, no.
Culverts is on the list, sir.
Culverts for boundary line adjustments, we don't, yeah. We don't
Okay.
do anything with,
Just checking.
yeah.
Because if I have that information ahead of time, I won't have to ask for it and continue their project. And
Yeah, definitely. I saw that map yesterday and kind of cringed.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
rough. Those were rough.
Okay, so we'll run that through our next staff meeting, I think.
Thank you.
Okay, any other matters from staff? Okay, so can I get a motion to adjourn?
I motion we adjourn.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, guys. Have a nice
Thank you.
weekend.